Hi, I'm Kelsey from roughandtumblefarmhouse.com, and today we are going to dive into making our own apple cider vinegar. Now, apple cider vinegar is one of those things I've always wanted to try to make but never have before. So full disclosure, this is my first time, and it's a process that takes typically a couple of months. So I'm hoping it works out, but you can tune in and see what I do and how I'm doing, and hopefully at the end we have a really good vinegar. Now, I am using the Fire Cider book, has a recipe for fruit scrap vinegar, and that is the recipe we're going to be using today. So the things that you need to make your own apple cider vinegar, you need a pound of fruit scrap. So it's a great time of year with all the apples and everything that are out. Well, at least right now apples are out. By the time I post this video, apples are probably pretty much done, at least in this part of the country. But you'll need a pound of fruit scraps. Doesn't have to be apples. You need 1 cup of sugar. So I have 1 cup of organic cane sugar. And you're gonna need a 1/2 gallon jar. And then you're also going to need some apple cider vinegar that has the mother in it, because you're going to be developing your own mother, kind of like if you've ever brewed kombucha before. It's almost the same idea. So real quick, why would you even want to make your own apple cider vinegar? If you're watching this video, you probably already know about some of the benefits of apple cider, but people use it for cleaning and people use it for its nutritional purposes. You can use it for body care, for hair rinses and things like that. So there's a lot of reasons to make apple cider vinegar. And it's really cool too, because you can make it not just from apple fruit scraps, but from any sort of fruit scraps you have. And you can also use honey or molasses or other sweeteners as well. But for this first time around, I really just wanted to keep it basic and just do apples and sugar, and hopefully it's going to turn out well, because throughout the process what's basically going to happen is we are going to be making alcohol, and then it's going to keep fermenting down to the point where it becomes vinegar. So it'll be a long journey, like I said. It's going to be, let's see, it's mid-September. This probably won't be done until the end of November, maybe even early December sometime. So I will film throughout the process so you can see how it looks and how it goes. And like I said, hopefully at the end we have a really good vinegar. But today we are just going to be getting it started, so I'll show you how we do that. So like I said, I'm choosing to use apple scrap. So I made a bunch of apple crisp, and I have one of those really awesome whiz bang apple peelers. So I've got all these kind of long shoestring like pieces from apples, and I also have a bunch of cores, and so all of it can go in here. That's the one thing too that's nice about making a vinegar, is aside from really the sugar, mostly you're using something that would just be going in the compost pile or fed to your pigs or your chickens or what have you. So just filling our jar here with the apple scraps, seeds and everything can all go in there. Okay, so that's that, and the next thing we have to do is just add our sugar. We're going to do is add a 1/2 cup of the apple cider vinegar. I'm going to give it a really good shake to make sure it's got as much of the mother cultures in there as possible. So we just pour that in, and next we are going to add about 1 quart of water. You want to use filtered, unchlorinated water. Now I'm going to stir it up to try and get all that sugar dissolved. All right, so stirring is not working that hot, so instead I'm just going to shake it up. So I put the 2-piece canning lid on here, and I'll give it a really good shake. I might have to add a little more of that water in here, we'll see. So the instructions say to put the sugar in with the fruit scraps, but if I were to do this again, I would probably put the sugar in the vinegar and the quart of water in first to integrate it and then add the fruit scraps. But maybe there's a reason why you do it this way, so who knows. Okay, and now it says to just fill it up the rest of the way to the top with the filtered water. Okay, and I'm gonna give it probably one more good toss around here just to make sure it is all good and dissolved and integrated. Okay, and now what we're gonna do is put some sort of cover on it. I have these milk filters from filtering our raw milk. I'm just gonna put that on there with a screw top lid. And then every single day, I'm gonna stir this around with a spoon for the next 6 days. So begins our vinegar making process. All right, so it has been about a week of fermentation with the apple cider vinegar. So I'm gonna show you what that is looking like. Right now, we are being joined by Nick the cat, who's very excited to be making his first batch of vinegar as well. So I'm just gonna bring the camera down and show you what we are looking at here. So you can see it's kind of frothy on the top, and maybe the camera can pick it up, I'm not sure, but there should be a little kind of bubbles rising to the top. That means that the fermentation is going well. And if it hasn't been rising up to the top for you, if you're not getting foam or any active fermentation, as long as you're not seeing any mold, just kind of start giving it a stir maybe every single day. Make sure that you're agitating it and see if it doesn't start to ferment a little bit better for you. So we're just gonna let this go for probably about another week, and we're gonna watch for the bubbles to slow, for the foam to recede, and that's gonna tell us the fermentation process is kind of wrapping up. So we will check back in here in another week and see how we're looking. Okay, so here is our vinegar. It has been, gosh, 3 weeks since we started, maybe almost a month, and just now the fermentation has really slowed down. You can see all the fruit flies around, which I'm sure you probably have hovering around your jar too. So if you look here, you can see the foam has kind of stopped. It's not making as many bubbles, though it still is making some. So the next step is going to be to strain this out, and then I'm going to put the liquid back inside the jar. And then when I strain it too, before I do that, let's look in here. And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it very well, but kind of right along in between these two big apple pieces, you can see there's kind of a thin film in there, and it's in a couple other spots too. And what that is the vinegar mother starting to form. So before I strain it, I'm going to try and scoop that out gently as I can and set that aside. And then when I put the vinegar back in, or when I put the liquid back in the jar, I'm going to put that kind of mother starter back in there too. Okay, so it has been well over a month, and you can see the inside of our jar, we're starting to get this filmy layer. So that is actually the vinegar mother that's starting to form. So the fermentation is completely done. There's really no foam anymore. There aren't any bubbles kind of coming up the side. So what I'm going to do is, as carefully as I can, I'm going to scoop out kind of this filmy stuff on top, set it aside, and then strain out the rest of the mixture. Probably about a month out now. I'm having such a hard time keeping track because these videos are so spaced out. And here we have our finished vinegar. So you can see here that it has reduced quite a bit, as it has just been sitting here kind of fermenting and aging. If we look here at the bottom, you can see this is the vinegar mother down here at the bottom. So that is formed from the natural bacteria and things that are in the air. So if I want to, which I'm gonna do, when I make a future batch of vinegars, I can take this mother out and put it in there, and it will help give it the same flavors and help it to age and mature a lot faster. So what I'm gonna do now is I am just going to bottle this vinegar, and I don't have a funnel, unfortunately, at least not the right size one. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm going to just bottle the vinegar in one of these little swing top bottles. These are so handy to have if you find these glass ones at thrift stores or something. They're always worth picking up. And so I'm definitely gonna need more than just this bottle to put it in, but I'm going to put it first here in this bowl, and then I'm gonna fill it because I don't trust my pouring capabilities whatsoever. And then I will just swing the top down, and it will be bottled and ready to go. So I can use it for hair rinses, or making fire cider, or doing salad dressings, or just taking it daily as a little bit of a supplement. There's a lot of things that I can do with this vinegar. done, you can do all sorts of things with it. Some people like to just take a teaspoon or a tablespoon every day just for overall health and wellness. I have a link below to the blog post where I'll talk all about the good health benefits of vinegar. One of the favorite things that I like to do with vinegar is make a really good salad dressing out of it. So all you need to do is put a couple tablespoons of your vinegar, sort of to your own taste, in a bowl, mix it up with about 3/4 a cup of olive oil, add a little bit of salt and pepper, some Dijon mustard, about maybe 2 teaspoons to a tablespoon's worth, and then stir it up and add a little bit of honey at the end. It makes a really good salad dressing, or something that even you can toss French fries in or something. It's just really tasty. And if you want to experiment even further with your vinegar, you can make an herbal infused vinegar. Really simple. Just take a mason jar, fill it up about 3/4 full with dried herbs. Make sure you use dry, not fresh, because fresh has a moisture content in there that can introduce more bacteria and spoilage. So always use dried. So about 3/4 of a mason jar full, cover it all the way to the top with vinegar, shake it up every day for about 4 weeks. Top it up as you need to, because some of the herbs will soak up the vinegar. They'll kind of puff up and you want them to stay underneath the vinegar. So just do that and then strain it out, or leave the herbs in, whatever you want to do, and you can make a really good vinegar for, again, brining things or making dressings. There's a lot of different things you can do with your vinegar. So thank you so much for watching. This video took a long time to make. It's been months in the making, and I hope that you try out some vinegars. Let me know what you do and what you try, and let me know how it turns out for you. I would love to get some more ideas about ways to use vinegar or ways to make vinegar. Thanks very much for watching. I always appreciate it if you like, subscribe, and share. It helps my channel reach more people. You can always find new videos here every single week about farming, family, food, and fortitude here at our Rough and Tumble farmhouse.